What's up, you guys? Short Miss Prime here doing another movie review on Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. I have to give a big thanks to Coastside Comics. Please like Coastside Comics. If you're on the coast and you want comics, go to Coastside Comics, man. That's right. They hooked it up with early screening passes. I got a huge group of people together and we all went to go see the movie. Sean Long was there, Century Productions, Joey Walkie, Mr. Phils, Chew, Charlita One, Shartleby, Clayton Mang, Eric Mang, Robert Mang, just like it was. I think that was all of us. I think Natalie Long, of course, she was there too. And so we had about 10 or 12 of us there. Brett Stiles was there. So yeah, we got big group of us there to see the movie. Very scary thing though is like, they number you off and you have to be there early enough. And, we got there kind of late, which was like 2 hours before the movie. So we were all scared that we weren't going to see the movie. So we saw it in 3D IMAX, front row, all the way off to the side. Yeah, so I was looking at the movie like this, and it was real 3D IMAX. It was at the San Francisco Metreon Theater. So that was the way I had seen the movie. I thought the 3D for the movie was pretty good. Now I'm going to start this review off with non-spoilers. Then after I'm done with that, we'll move on to the spoilers section. So far, non-spoilers. I thought the 3D was good. I recommend seeing it in 3D. I liked the 3D of this movie. Keep in mind, though, I was all the way down here. And second off, what I've thought about the previous Transformers movies, because I think that's important for you to know it. I'm a sucker for Transformers movies. I love seeing Transformers on the big screen. I'm a Transformers fan. It doesn't really take a whole lot to please me to hit that geek spot and to make me happy. At the same time, I recognize that the Transformers movies have shit storytelling. Like, they are just terrible with telling stories. They're not very good in the directing department or anything else for that matter, aside from the movie actually having Transformers in them, which is not really always the case with some of these movies. So that's my thoughts on the, I'm a sucker for them. I'm a sucker for Transformers. Love seeing Transformers on the big screen, even if they're not G1 reminiscent, This movie, I liked it. I have to say, out of all the other Transformers movies, I felt like this one gave us the most screen time with Transformers. I could be wrong with anything I'm saying over here, okay? But that's just the way I felt about it. I also felt the movie was very long. It was a 2-hour, 45-minute movie, man. I don't need 2 hours and 45 minutes. If I'm going to sit there for 2 hours and 45 minutes, it better be 2 hours and 45 minutes of Transformers. But it was not 2 hours and 45 minutes of Transformers. Maybe that's why it felt like this was the most screen time I got from Transformers and Transformers movie, because the movie was just so damn long. There was just a lot of screen time of everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the human to robot ratio was the same. And then I honestly feel like, though, that the human to robot ratio was higher in the robot department in this one, though. I really have to say that. As far as plot goes, just as paper thin as any other plot. I think, Dr. Arkaville's story where a human teams up with, Decepticons to take over the Dinobots. This time the antagonist being Dan Andriano from Alkaline Trio. And no reoccurring characters at all. There's just nothing to be said of any previous characters from the previous movies. As far as the human goes, which I guess is kind of a spoiler, but not really, because did you see any in the trailers? You know what I mean? I'm not really revealing anything that's outside of what they gave us in the trailers. We get Mark Wahlberg with the daughter, who's got no ass. Michael Bay, of course, you'd expect to give us a lot of nice shots of her thin legs and everything. White girl, no ass, and plenty of buffed ass yoked Mark Wahlberg, plenty, So yeah, it's definitely a more of a drippy movie than a stiffy movie. You know what I'm saying? So Charlita One liked the movie very much. She loved the movie. She didn't give a crap about the Transformers, but she loved the movie, right? Anyway, I'm not trying to give too much away over here in this section of the review. Dinobots, I liked that we had a lot more of interaction between the Autobots in this movie. We see that a lot more than I think I've seen in any other Transformers Bay movie. So that was really cool. I felt like I really connected with the characters. I loved Hound. I think Hound was my favorite character in the movie. Bumblebee, we see a little bit more of his character, a little different from what I expected. Optimus, different from what I always expected, but I guess consistent with the Bay universe. Frighteningly consistent. And And then Crosshairs, and then we have Crosshairs, Drift, and I think that's it. Yeah, there's 5. Optimus, Bumblebee, Crosshairs, Drift, and Hound. And no other characters from the previous movies, just because in case you were wondering. Again, you don't see any other characters from the previous movies. Well, you see one actually. One I didn't mention. He's in there. I won't give that away just yet, so I'll talk about that later. So you do get that one reoccurring Autobot that I didn't mention. But aside from that, it's just a new cast of Autobots. And any Decepticons that you're hoping to see that weren't in the trailer, no, there's no other Decepticons. You basically just get the 2. So just 2 Decepticons. Felt really weird. And then Dinobots. Like I said, it's a 2 hour and 45-minute movie. I'm going to mention this right away that you get Dinobots in the movie, alright? They're there. They really are there. You're going to think they're not there, but they're there. Because the movie's 2 hours and 45 minutes long, and we go through the vast majority of the film without any acknowledgement towards Dinobots being in this film at all whatsoever, really. Well, there's something towards the beginning, but it's like, they're really, nah. Like, you kind of like, I swear I was promised Dinobots in this movie. Are there Dinobots in this movie? So if you're thinking of that to yourself while you're watching this film, just rest assured that yes, there will be Dinobots. They will give them to you, even though you feel like they'll never show up. And another spoiler that I think is good for those of you that don't like spoilers, don't bother hanging around after the movie. There's no point to it, no teaser at the very end or anything like that. So you can rest assured that if you got something to do right after the movie, go ahead and do it. You're not going to miss anything. Unless for the public screening, they change it, but I don't think so. So that's basically it as far as the non-spoilers. Now, as far as the spoilers go, so here's the part where you want to stop watching the video. Spoilers! Let's see. Where we start? The movie starts out with the plot being that the seed, and I couldn't get this straight. Trust me, I actually started falling asleep during the movie. Like, I had a hard time keeping track of the plot. I felt like it was kind of weak, and I didn't. My mind didn't grab onto the plot too well. I just got that there was Dan Andriano trying to create clones. They created a way to make a metal that could transform, and he creates Bumblebee replicas, right? Which I thought was a cool nod to G1. You know, the replica is red, so it looks like Bumblebee, but it's red. Obviously, Cliff Jumper, but his name is Stinger, and I guess that's the name of all of these replicas is Stinger. And I like the little nod to I hate cheap knockoffs. I thought that was a great line. I think Hound said that line. I love John Goodman as Hound, by the way. And like I said earlier, I really like the character differentiation between the Autobots. This is the first time I really felt like I had a serious group of Autobots. Whereas before, I felt like all the Autobots, I couldn't tell who was talking or who said what or anything. I couldn't tell the difference between them. Now I can. That other Autobot, spoiler, the other Autobot was Ratchet, who was getting brutally murdered and everything by Dan Andriano. Dan Andriano hooking up with Lockdown. Lockdown as a mercenary to defeat the Autobots. Him not being a fan of either the Autobots or Decepticons, but him hired to kill the Autobots. Dan Andriano and Kelsey Grammer Frazier is working with Dan Andriano to get this whole thing going where we get rid of Autobots altogether, and we do that by fighting fire with fire, by making replicas of, Bumblebee. And they dig into Megatron's head that was, decapitated by Optimus Prime in the previous film, and they use that to take his memories and put it into another Transformer, which is Galvatron. So Galvatron and Megatron are essentially the same thing. It turns out Galvatron was using Dan Andriano the whole time just to make this happen for his own good. I'm shaky with the memory on this movie. Anyway, so the action was pretty good. It hurts me thinking about the plot. I didn't really enjoy that too much. But the one thing I thought that was kind of weird, I had to give myself a couple of notes right here. I thought it was cool seeing the upgrades. We see High Octane Bumblebee, and we see him change into the new Camaro Bumblebee, and Optimus go from his G1 looking self, because they're all in hiding, and Optimus is sending out a signal to everybody. Mark Wahlberg, stumbles upon him and gets started. Mark Wahlberg's character kind of he always wished that he could do something, and he just accidentally awakens Optimus Prime. Still really not that much, And Mark Wahlberg's performance was okay, I guess. I really felt like I was almost watching a parody, like a Mark Wahlberg doing impersonation of Mark Wahlberg. Like I felt like there was some lines that like sounded like he was doing an impersonation of himself from Ted or something. That arguing kind of innocent arguing kind of thing that he does, and maybe it's just Mark Wahlberg. I don't know, but I felt like it was kind of weak. I don't know. I didn't really like his performance too much. But you see, I think Lockdown transforms off screen. I thought that was strange. I think his first transformation was off screen. Drift was a really cool character in the movie too. Like I said, I liked Hound the most. Hound was really cool. He's just got bullet shells falling all over him, loaded with guns. Super cool. Jolly, kind of funny. They make little jokes, quips, and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. Drift, though, was weird. He had two transformations. He was the first triple changer that we see in the movie. So he turns into the Bugatti, and he also turns into a helicopter. And there's no explanation of how that really happens or what, like, they don't thoroughly really explain that. You just see a helicopter there, and there's a car missing. You know what I mean? And then there's no helicopter, but we get an extra car. So you just figure it out that he can transform into both a helicopter and a car, which I thought would have been really cool to explain. It would have been nice to get a little bit of of an explanation of triple changers. Not a whole lot, just a little bit, like a little bit of an acknowledgement, like, holy crap, did that guy just do something that we've never seen any Transformer do before in this universe? You know what I mean? Just something to acknowledge it a little bit. I don't know. So I thought that was weird. They gave us free stuff at I wanted to also mention that they gave us a free hat, Transformers 4 hats, before I forgot. Age of Extinction Experience and IMAX 3D. Just want to mention that. But anyway, now, the thing I really want to talk about, though, is the freaking Dinobots. They took forever. The movie opens up with this whole thing where the dinosaurs weren't extinct because of a meteorite, but it was like the seed or something that came from Cybertron and landed, and we follow around this little dinosaur thing. Reminds me of Land Before Time. We follow Ducky around, and then I guess he almost dies or whatever. And then I went to the bathroom or get some popcorn and soda and stuff, where I missed the part where they first talk about the Dinobots coming into the movie. But the movie is very long, and you don't really see any Dinobots till like the last half hour, man. Damn it! What the hell? The thing was advertised with Grimlock all over the place, and then not till like the end of the movie we see the Dinobots, and we get a decent amount of Dinobot action. They didn't do that whole thing where they made us wait hella long, they bring them in and they took it right away. They took it right back. They didn't do that. You see them for a while, so I think that's cool. They got a good amount of screen time. Now, from what we know of the action figures, from the action figures anyway, is that there are 7 Dinobots. The original 5 being Grimlock, Slag, now Slug, the Triceratops. I'm just going to say in their dinosaur forms, okay? Triceratops, T-Rex, Triceratops, Apatosaurus, like a Brontosaurus, Stegosaurus, and the Pterodactyl, right? So, Grimlock, Slug for this movie, right? Slog, the Apatosaurus, Strafe, and Snarl. They kept the name the same as Snarl, okay? Out of those 5 originals, we only get Grimlock, Slug, Strafe, and then Swoop. Right? No, I said Strafe, Slug, and yeah. So just those 3. And then they added in Scorn. So no Scorn or Slash either. So no so the 4 Dinobots are Grimlock, Slug, the Triceratops, Scorn, the Spinosaurus, and Swoop or Strafe. Those 4. I wish they had given us a different 4. For instance, we didn't need Scorn if we already have Grimlock. There's so many dinosaurs out there, but it's like, can you have given us the long-necked herbivore to represent that part? That would have been pretty cool. You know what I mean? That would have been pretty nice. Instead of having 2 bipedal predators, I don't know. So, and then Scorn didn't really look like how he looked on the action figure. The action figure, he's more accurate to the actual skeleton of the Spinosaurus with a huge fin on the back. But this guy had like 3 rows of spikes on his back. And it made me think that I was looking at Snarl, but it wasn't Snarl. You see a good amount of Grimlock. Now the whole thing with Optimus Prime and Grimlock teaming up was just kind of weird. They just fight, and then Optimus ends up, getting a blade to his neck and standing on top of the back of his head with it and everything. He's like, "You'll take us, or you'll do as I say, or I will cut your throat right here." I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure Grimlock could still whoop his ass, but I don't think he really has him yet. I actually don't think, I think the chance of Optimus Prime ever defeating Grimlock in a one-on-one battle is possible, slightly possible. If Optimus were able to actually defeat Grimlock in a one-on-one battle, he would really have to use his smarts, and it would be a long battle. You know what I mean? This was a very short battle, and Prime dominates him quickly. I just didn't buy it. Not even just comparing him to the G1, the old cartoons and everything, but even for this movie, because Grimlock is so freaking huge, man. It's like, he can't, like, really, he took him down that easily? Come on. I just didn't buy that. And then for whatever reason, all the other Dinobots are like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll do what he said. Yeah, I guess he took down Grimlock, so we're going to follow him," which is actually more or less G1 accurate, because the Dinobots are stupid. Speaking of stupid, they don't talk, so I could have used a Meet Grimlock. Come on, give it up for a Meet Grimlock. A Meet Grimlock would have been cool. Would have liked to have had that, but no, they never speak. None of them speak. But you do see them in both. You see all four in both modes. Could we get a fifth, just one more to get that number right to the G1? They had 5 back in the day. You gave us 4. Would it have hurt to put one more in there, man? Damn it. No, so. But anyway, they stampede and they come in through and help save the day. You get a good amount of slug or slag in there. I like seeing slag in the movie. You see him having the fire breath too. I think that was pretty dope. A lot of Strafe flying around. Strafe was pretty awesome. You get Bumblebee riding around on Strafe. That was really cool. Nobody rides Scorn. Scorn's barely in it, so it's like, I don't know. I'm asking for a 5th, but that 4th one, they barely show him in the movie anyway. So yeah, that was the Dinobots. Yeah, they transformed. They don't have any of the colors that we saw in the action figures. The color schemes, even the gold on Grimlock or that bronze color is totally just made up for the toys. That's not in the movie. They're all just like a dirty gray silver color. And then you see Grimlock it's just scream. So I think that was, I kind of wish they talked, but at the same time, just a Meet Grimlock, just one Meet Grimlock, Meet Grimlock. Yeah, that would have been kind of cool. But nope, didn't get that. Yeah, then I don't think you even see any of the other ones scream, but you see them all in both modes, so I thought that was kind of cool. There's this big machine thing floating in the air, and it's kind of like the Unicron. Mr. Phil's called it as the shout out to Unicron thing, everything levitating in the air. And then it drops it back down, and the Dinobots go walk off in the wilderness into the forest and just let them go like that. So, okay, that was just a little, it felt like that wasn't tied together. Oh! One of the big shockers for me is Optimus Prime. He killed Kelsey Grammer. I think Kelsey Grammer was about to kill Mark Wahlberg. Optimus Prime comes around the corner. Boom! Shoots Kelsey Grammer. He shoots Fraser right in the back. Are you kidding me, man? Optimus Prime just shot a man down. That is so outside the character, except for the movieverse. I guess it kind of makes sense because Optimus Prime, did do that whole fatality to Megatron in Dark of the Moon. So, I guess it kind of fits it, but really, the original character of Optimus Prime would never do that. Prime would not shoot a human down like that. God, just terrible, it's terribly outside. And then Bumblebee was a dick in this movie too. Bumblebee, really had a temper. He was so pissed off about the clone thing, which I guess I would be pissed too, but I'm not Bumblebee. I wouldn't expect Bumblebee to react the way he did. Bumblebee really threw a fit about the whole clone thing, the stingers all over the place, which is kind of neat, And then the Galvatron thing, Galvatron transforms and he's just a bunch of little squares, and then he just reforms again. So, this movie, man, it's got problems left and right, of course. We all know this, right? It's a Transformers Bay movie. It's going to have problems left and right. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't really care about the G1 stuff. It's like you have the people with the real money making this movie, just doing whatever the hell they want. Then you have the people working for them, fighting like hell to make G1 accurate stuff happen, so you only get some of it in there. That's what it looks like to me anyway. You know, it's like you got douchebags running the show, and you have heroes trying to really get cool shit to happen. And they're not winning that many battles, but they have won some. Like that. That's what I think it is, anyway. I don't know what else to talk about, man. I got through all my notes, I think. No after the credit scenes. Dinobots took forever. Yeah, you know. Seed landed, yeah, so that's all I really got to say. I hope you guys like my review anyway. I try to, you know, fulfill both ends by giving spoilers and non-spoilers. Like I said, the plot, I was falling asleep during the movie. The plot didn't really stick too well. So not a great movie, but definitely one of the better Transformers movies. Yeah, I think I liked it more than Dark of the Moon. Actually, yeah, I'm going to say I liked it more than Dark of the Moon. Yeah, alright, for right now. I want to see it again, though. Maybe I'll do a re-review of this. Alright, let me know in the description what you guys thought of the movie, if you already seen it, or let me know what you thought of this review. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.